Jewish calendar, it makes sense. It makes sense that there's Passover on Passover because it was then that the Jews left Egypt. So we remember it. And it makes sense that we have a day called Yom Kippur because it remembers the moment that Moses came down with the tablets the second time around and the Jews saw that they were forgiven. And throughout our history, we have moments that when we remember them and commemorate them, it makes sense. And we never lose that. And it's an amazing thing that we have. If you go out to the world and you speak to people and you explain how much we remember and commemorate key moments in our history, it's outstanding. And there are times that make no sense. And we're in one right now. It sort of passed by us. But if we pull back, hopefully we'll see it. The Jews come out of Egypt. And remember, when they came out of Egypt, they didn't just roll out of Egypt because God was saving the Jewish people. It was much more than that. If God wanted to save the Jewish people, it would have been a lot easier. God's not insecure. He doesn't have to negotiate with Paro, who he created in his land. It wasn't a breakup where he's like, can we go out now? And Moshe's like, I'm so sorry. He's like, okay, blood. Now? No, okay, frogs. How about now? Darkness. We're going to kill the first one. Okay, fine, go. Oh, I'm so happy he relented. Take out the Jews. Jews are enslaved for hundreds and hundreds of years. God wasn't trying to save the Jews. He could have saved them a lot easier. He was trying to launch the Jews. Egypt was Nazi Germany. God was using Paro, the man who was the most powerful man on earth, who stood next to Moses and said, who is God? Not listening to him, for a showdown that the Jews watched for a year. When the Jews left Egypt, they weren't just like running for their lives. They were inspired. They were learning. They saw this God that they knew of from traditions from their family, but they never saw up front break nature. They saw God to change the whole world. They went to the epicenter of civilization and picked a fight with the strongest man ever, a man who himself thought he was God, and won. Not a little bit, but a blowout. When the Jews came out of Egypt, they were going out of their minds. Chamushim, all those strong, inspired, ready to take on the world. And God's like, well, you didn't wait for night activity. Hold on. And he walks them right to a sea. He didn't have to. He could have walked them around. They came, those who know a little, they came from the north. Those are a little bit about the map of Israel. The Jews came out of the north by the sea, by the border. They could have walked the sea to Gaza, toward his president of Gaza in weeks. He brought them south, put them right by the sea, and then brought the Egyptians and said, whoa, we're not done yet. Boom. Jews come through. The sea closes. They see all the oppressors finally gone. They come out the other side and they are blown away. They start singing. They start dancing. It says, we say every single day, Vayaminu b'Hashem u'Moshe Abba. They believed in God and Moses. They were locked. Now, if you were writing the story, if you were God's chief of staff, what would you recommend next? The whole goal of the Jewish people getting saved was to launch the nation. God has the book. The Torah is the instructions of the soul. The Torah is what's going to civilize humanity. Today we take it for granted, but there was a time where we had something called, the world had something called a Roman Colosseum, where they took human beings called slaves, pit them against lions for fun. The Jews stood outside and said, that's a human being. They go, no, it's not, it's my property. We brought to the world the idea of value of life no matter who you are. We brought to the world the ideas that are now common in the world. The Torah is who we are. The whole goal was Mount Sinai. It wasn't just to be saved and hang out in the desert. The goal of saving them was to bring them up the mountaintop, give them the book, and go, we're still loves humanity. You're sitting next to God, you're his chief of staff. They just supposed to a year of plagues in a split city. What would you do next? What would you do next? So I'm in real estate. I started my life as a lawyer. I'm a recovering attorney. And I moved into a real estate company, and I'm there. And I'll never forget my first day on the job, sitting at work. Older statesman comes right up to my son, teach you the secret to real estate. Secret to real estate on the first day. I'm like, ching, I'm like, wait. He goes, it's 3 letters. I'm like, 3 letters? That's it. A, B, C. Always be closing. Always be closing. The call comes at 6 o'clock. You don't return the call in the morning. When you call the call? At 6:05. When you can close today, you don't close tomorrow. It's called witching hour. All deals fail at the table. Close, close, close. Opportunity now. Keep your phone on. Always, God's the greatest closer of all time. It's Hashem. You walk out of the city, people are rocking. You got it. I mean, you're God. I mean, plays are awesome. Splitting the sea, that is like, oh, no Passover program could do anything close. And you got that. And they said they believe in you. You did this all for the mountain, all for the Torah. What should happen next? What should be the next day? No, fireworks, God should say, okay guys, music till midnight, tea rooms open all night, your Jews will be hungry. Shuttles leaving to Mount Sinai, 6 a.m. See you on the top, we're signing. What does God do? Waits a day, waits a week, 2 weeks, 4 weeks. It's 50 days from Egypt till the next holiday coming up is Shavuot, that remembers giving us 50, what was he doing? Raising money for production on the mountain? What in the world is hanging around the desert doing nothing? Waiting for what? He had the Torah, he had the people, he had the mountain, and he has unlimited resources. This period of time, called the Omer, this time between Passover and Shavuot should not exist. It should be Passover, one day, take a deep breath, bring the bagels back, Shavuot. That's how it should look. Cheesecake. What are we doing here? And the answer is we're preparing for something. Now, if you think if you're getting Torah, you should be studying Hebrew or going to classes. What did God do to prepare us? That's the question. We're going to take a little break. Go to the left. Stick with me. Hopefully I won't forget to come back. I want to tell you a story. I read it in a book, so it must be true. Just lean back for a second. Story time. Just take a deep breath. We're taking a little bit of a trip. And I want you to picture, if you can, you're with me in this movie. Be in the drone with me as this thing. And what you're seeing is we're going to the northwest of our country. So Seattle, that area. Beautiful state park. Gorgeous trees, paths, waterfalls, a park. Big. And on the park, on the pathway, are benches. And the drone is on top. You're watching it from the top, and you see all the trees. And as you get closer and closer and closer, as we get closer to the ground, you see something a little interesting. You see it's 5 o'clock in the morning. It's early. The birds are chirping. The sun hasn't even fully risen yet. And you're seeing that on one of the paths, on one of the benches, is a man. Must be like in his late 30s, early 40s, sitting in a blue suit, white shirt, hands hovered over his knees, and he's like, his back is shaking. You're like, what is that? As you get closer, you realize that he's not crying. No, he's not. He's bawling. He's breaking down. Something is really wrong with this guy. He is losing it. He can almost not hold himself up with the tears, and he is broken, and he is crying. And on this quiet park is this one man who is just crying. And in the corner of your eye is an old man walking the path, probably from an old walk. Grayish hair, mostly balding. A velour jumpsuit, because you get to wear velour when you're that age. White sneakers, the deal. Looking for his morning walk. And he walks by and he sees the young man. He says, "You okay, son?" And the man looks and goes, "I'm fine." He goes, "You don't look fine." And he goes, "I'm fine." He goes, "Well, you don't look it." He goes, "Listen, old man, whatever I'm going through, you can't help me." He goes, "I can listen." He goes, "You want to listen to my story?" He goes, "Sure." He goes, "Sit there, I hope you have the time." The old man sits next to him, and the young man begins. About 15 miles from here is a town, small town. 2 generations ago, 2 people from Europe landed on the shores of America, was processed through Ellis Island. My grandfather and grandmother. My grandfather was the most handy man in the world. He could build anything from anything from anything. My grandmother could speak to a tree and become the tree's best friend. You know people like this? You go to a civic club, you can't find her. She leaves, everybody's crying, hugging, kissing. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. She's just getting started. That was his grandmother. He goes, the 2 of them were a dynamo. They landed in Ellis Island, they started in New York City. They could not find money to pay for the rent they got on the bus. They came to the Midwest. They couldn't make it in the Midwest. They got on a bus, they came all the way to this small little town. And inland in this small little town was my grandparents, just ready to go with no money in a tiny little town in the northwest of this country. They got off the bus, they got a few dollars from the state to have a couple of months of rent. They woke up to the apartment, they look at each other and go, what are we going to do? They go right downstairs, and my grandmother spent 5 minutes talking down to the people in the street. Everyone gets to know her, she smooths, and she comes back up and she says, honey, make a desk. He's like, make a desk? What does that mean? She goes, we're making a desk. He goes, what are you talking about? He goes, I just sold the desk. He goes, how did you sell a desk? He goes, we're in the furniture business. He's like, what are you talking about? She's like, I don't know, figure it out. So he goes down and gets some lumber and he brings it back to the apartment. And before you know it, she's selling desks and she's selling chairs. And all of a sudden, the people are coming by and he's making good stuff. And they go down to the street and they buy a small little, tiny little storefront. And my grandmother sits in the front of the store every single day, and she's schmoozing with everybody. In the back is my grandfather, schwitzing and working. Another desk, another cabinet, another desk, another cabinet. That little store which the town just comes around and loves, becomes a second store and a third store, and they're so generous, they give it right back to the community, and the school gets better, and the kids' programs get better, and the hospital sort of gets better, and they start hiring people from the community, and then every time they give, they get, and that store goes from 3 to 4 before you know it, it's a block. And it becomes the center of this town, is this furniture store. They start shipping around to the local communities. They are the pride of the town. My grandfather and my grandmother. My father was 30 years old on his birthday. In comes my grandfather and he says, you have a minute, son? He goes, sure. Closes the door and goes, listen, I can't do this anymore. I want to go away with your grandmother. You want to go on vacation. You want to breathe. You want to wake up a little bit later. Maybe spend some time with the grandkids. Are you willing to take the company over? And my father, he says to him, said, absolutely, Dad. And he hands me the keys to the company. My father stands up, walks into his office, and the company explodes. They start manufacturing. He starts making deals across the country. They're shipping, and in our family tradition, as we grow, we give. As we grow, we give. And the school gets better, the fields get built, and the hospital gets better, the children starts getting created. And my father is down the parades of all the down the floats of the parades, and my family becomes the center of the town on my 30th birthday. I get a knock on my office. Now, my father never went to camp. He never just played sports. You know what he did when he was 8 years old? The factory floor. And when he was 10, he was in the accounting department. And when he was 15, he was in the distribution department. His life was a store. When I never went to camp, I didn't have any hobbies. I didn't play sports. When I was 8, you know where I was? I was on the factory floor. When I was 10, I was in the accounting department. And when I was 30 years old, my father walked in, closed the door and said, son, you have a minute? He goes, yes, Dad. And he was coming, my grandpa told me. He said, when I was your age, your grandfather gave me the opportunity of a lifetime, and I feel like it's in why. It's a very big business. It's very big pressure. You know, think, oh, we've done all that. I want to run around with your mother a little bit. I want to go on vacation. I want to see the grandkids. You ready? He says, I've never been more ready than that. It's good luck, son. Because I won't let you down, Dad. Because I don't think you will. Goes, and I said, oh man, I was proud. This story is, if you remember, around 2006, 2007. Remember those days? Those who remember, I can feel the room. Oh man, 2006, 2007, we were drunk. We figured out work because you get to borrow money or pay it back. How do you like that? We get to buy mansions without any cash. This is amazing. Oh man, everyone was buying, and I was building. New manufacturing facilities, distribution plants. We took the whole country. We started going to Europe. We started making deals with offices that I knew they were going to be filled because they're growing so fast. I was making its own span. And the company was growing and growing. I pledged to a much bigger children's center. I pledged a much bigger hospital, and I spent, and I worked, and I knew this is the legacy of my family. And I was going to cement it, and I was going to find my place as a part of this family tradition. And I knew this is the generation where you can set it in place and hold it forever. And I worked, and I worked, and I worked. And everything was going great, and then something happened. It was called 2008. And all those deals that I made, I started getting phone calls from the banks, and I started getting phone calls from the offices, and I started getting phone calls saying, we can't take shipment. We don't need office desks, we don't need chairs. What do you mean? What do you mean? And before you know it, I had facilities that were due, debt was due that I couldn't pay, and I couldn't pay this, and I couldn't pay that, and I couldn't pay him, and I couldn't pay that. And I had people all over the country that I had to shut down stores. And for the past year, I was trying to make things work. And last night, I got a phone call. And the old man says, what's the call? He pulls out his phone and he plays the voice recording. And it says, sir, and he whispers, they're my lawyers. Sir, we did everything possible. There is no way out. Tomorrow we're going to file Chapter 11. He says, bankruptcy. Bankruptcy. You understand that? My grandfather came to this country and built a name for the family. My father took the name to the next level. And guess what? They had a son who's a moron. They had a son who's greedy. They had a son who's a failure. I failed my family. I'm going to bankrupt the company that my grandmother stood at the storefront at. What am I doing with all the workers that are in town? What am I doing with my pledges they're already building? You know what shame I'm going to bring to my family? I have no words to describe, and as he's saying the pain, he just breaks. The old man says, who are your bankers? He's like, what were you paying? Where are the shipments coming in from? How much are you paying on the shipment? What are you talking about? Give me a little, go through your receivables with me. He goes, are you kidding me? Like, this is a joke? My receivables, my bankers? The old man goes, I'm sorry. I should have introduced myself. I don't live here. I live in Omaha, Nebraska. I just vacation here. You see, what you do is furniture. I run a company called Berkshire Hathaway. My name is Warren Buffett. Everybody know Warren Buffett is? You know what I do for a living? I look at companies that the world think is undervalued, and I determine that they're undervalued. Here's the secret, son. You're actually not a dumb CEO. You're a great CEO. You're supposed to take risks. The market moves. And I think your company's worth a lot more than you think. And the man goes, well, that's nice. Well, thanks. It doesn't help me. He goes, oh, you don't believe me? Okay. He puts his hands into his pockets and he goes, sir, please. He goes, no. He pulls out a checkbook. He goes, sir, here's $1 million. But 1 year from today, you're coming back, you bring back this $1 million. And I want 20% of my money, and I want 10% of your company. I think I'm serious. Deal. He goes, wait. Warren Buffett is investing in my company? He goes, sorry. Warren Buffett. It's like Michael Jordan is asking for a one-on-one. What? Warren? He goes, the deal? He goes, well, you better believe it, sir. He shakes his head and he shows up. It's like walking, looking at that thing. It's like, imagine Michael Jordan's on a baseball car. Oh my God, looking at the thing, gets in the car, he goes out of his mind. He's on the way home. He calls his dad. He goes, Dad, you can't believe it. He goes, how's the company? He goes, forget the company. I met Warren Buffett. He goes, look, I have a check. He goes, send me a picture. He goes, oh my God, Warren Buffett. He goes into the office. He's walking the halls. He goes, do you know what Warren Buffett? Like, he didn't mean Warren Buffett. He goes, yeah, check this out. He goes, holy cow, you have a check from Warren Buffett? He's walking to the desk. Like, yeah, you're kidding. He's calling his friends from college and high school, his parents, his grandparents. He can't believe he's holding a check from Warren for $1 million. He goes out of his mind the whole day. He goes, I gotta take it to the bank, I gotta make payroll. He drives to the bank, he's like, well, if I give it to the bank, no one's gonna believe me. He goes, you know what? I haven't made payroll in a month. Maybe they can wait one more day. What is the big deal? He goes, one night I just with my wife, I just with my kids. I gotta have one night with a check. He goes home with the check, he puts it on the table, they have dinner with the check. And he sees it, and he's like, here, here's the check. Tomorrow morning, as I'm driving in, I'm going to give the check in. I'll deposit the check in the morning. He gets in the morning, he drives to the bank. As he gets into the bank, he just can't bring himself. He goes to the teller, she's like, he's like, look, I'll be back. When do you close? 5? I'll be back at 5 o'clock. Hold on, just in case I forgot something. He goes back into his office, and he's like, who haven't I called yet to tell them that I have a check from Warren Buffett? And he's going through his phone, and he's making his phone calls, and something hits him. I'm not cashing the check. I'm going to bring this company back without cashing this check. And then in a year from now, when I see him, I'm asking for $20 million. I don't know if he's Jewish, but I think he is. That's what I'm going to do. The second that idea hits him, something will break. And a year from now, I got to get back his check. I'm going to walk back to him, hand him the original, ask him for 20, and then we're taking our company to the moon. Gets up, he walks to the warehouse, and goes, why is everyone sitting on the phone for? I was like, well, sir, it's been so slow. You know, it's inventory. I know what you. He goes, listen, guys, here's the deal. All his inventory's got to be out of our storehouse. I said, here's what I'm doing. He runs up to the door. He goes, the guy who sells the most inventory, I am sending to Hawaii for 2 tickets on me. He goes, you're joking, sir. I'm not kidding. Sell the inventory. The guy's like, oh, you got it, sir. And the activity starts up. And they walk, he goes, guys, moving around, making phone calls. As he walks out, he's in the design department. He goes, why is everybody on your phone for? He goes, well, sir, we haven't had a new design. He goes, are you kidding me? We're back. We have new designs. The market's not collapsing. It's a little bit of a blip. I want to be the leader when we come back. I want 5 designs in my office by tomorrow. They're like, yeah, sure, absolutely, sir. Yeah, for sure. He walks out, and he's going group by group, and so he feels like he's back to himself. Sits down at his desk, he picks up the phone, his banker going, wait, you can default on my warehouse? Now you're in the furniture business? You don't want to default on my warehouse. You're a bank. You're not a furniture store. Here's what we're going to do. I'm coming to New York in a week. We're going to sit down. We're going to work it out. You want me to win so I can pay you back? The guy's like, yeah, sure. What works for you? How about next Tuesday? I'll be in New York. Like, we'll see you Tuesday. Hey, he goes, okay. And something happens and the office starts to buzz again. He starts walking the halls. He comes home, he can't sleep. He's taking notes again. He's got that little pad that he used to have when he was a little kid. He starts filling up again. He comes in the next day and he's going. He's on a plane, he's making deals. Something shifts and he starts to move. And before you know it, after a month, they start making a little bit of money. 2 months payroll's getting covered. 3 months they had new opportunities. 4 months he renegotiated his debt. 5 months the company is turning around. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 months and 30 days, 25 days. He sits at his desk and he's like, I cannot believe it. The company is stronger than when it was a year ago. 11 months, 29 days. The night before he sees more. He can't. He's sitting at his desk late at night. Checks right in front of him, behind glass. Puts on a suit jacket. Picks up the check, puts it in his pocket, drives home, has dinner with his family. Tries to sleep, he doesn't sleep awake. 3 o'clock in the morning, he's staring at the ceiling. 4 o'clock, he's staring at the ceiling. 4:30, he puts on his suit. 5 o'clock, he's at the bench. 1 year ago, that bench. The bankruptcy call. 1 year later, stronger than ever. He just can't wait. 5:05, corner of his eye. The Lord jumps in. Mr. Buffett! Mr. Buffett! Mr. Buffett! Mr. Buffett! Mr. Buffett! Do I know you, son? It's me! It's me! Who are you? Wait, don't you remember? I don't. Come sit down. Do I know you? Where you go? A year ago. The furniture store? The furniture store! I gave you money! Yeah, you gave me money! What happened to that? What happened to that? You got a couple of minutes? He puts his hand into his pocket, and as he puts his hand into the pocket, 2 young guys in white come running at him. Sir, you okay? Yeah, why? Is this man bothering you? He goes, excuse me? Is this man bothering you? He goes, first of all, have a little respect. This man is Warren Buffett. The 2 men go. He said, right behind those trees is a nursing home. our residents have severe neurological issues. And what we do with them is we do this thing called method acting. And we ask them, find the person that is the opposite of you. You see, Bob never held a job in his life. He's been broke for most of his life. And he said to us, I know who I want to be. I want to be the richest man in the world. We said, how about Warren Buffett? You look like him. I do. Yes, you do. Bob, method acting is only in the facility. Didn't we tell that to you? He's like, I'm sorry. Did he give you money? Because the last guy he gave money to, it was a federal crime. Did he give you any money? And he goes, no, he didn't. You didn't deposit anything? He goes, no, I didn't deposit any of his money. Like, whew, thank God. Bob, what do you say? I'm sorry, son. Nice to know you. No problem. Bob. And Bob goes off. That's the story. And why am I telling it to you for? Let's delve. Now it's time to lean back in. What did fake Warren Buffett give our hero? The man built a business and it failed. He needed money, he needed advice, he needed contacts. He gave him no money, he gave him no advice, he gave him no contacts. So what happened? Like, what actually happened? You have a man who wasn't trying before? I mean, you think before he met Warren Buffett and he got the bankruptcy call, he was sitting in his house, or he's sitting in his job, and he's going, whatever, let it fail. Feet up on the desk going, like, whatever, we had a good run, it's time to go bankrupt. He didn't try every single day to do the best that he can. Wait, before our CEO showed up on the story he met Warren Buffett, he wasn't every single day doing everything he can to renegotiate his debt. He wasn't trying to get the inventory out. He wants to have the design team sit around doing nothing. He meets a guy who gives him no money, he gives him no contacts, who gives him no connections and no advice. And what happens? He magically becomes the CEO. What did Warren Buffett give him that ultimately changed him? The answer is everything. Let me explain. One of the greatest mistakes that we make in our lives is that we think that what the people around us need is wisdom, contacts, or advice. That comes after we give them something more precious. God creates a world, and he does something that's so unthinkable. It's so unthinkable that most people, Jews and non-Jews alike, will go on life and never think of it. That's how incredible it is. And even as I say it to you now, I'm about to tell you, I am sharing with you from my heart. To me, it is the most powerful bit of wisdom you'll ever hear in your life. Not because it's mine, but because it is. And it's so big that it's hard to wrap our brains over it. And if I can ask of you, anytime you have, in the next week, when you have a minute of quiet, try to wrap your head around this idea. It is the most fundamental aspect of Judaism. This is the core of everything. God creates a world, and the world that God creates, angels, all spiritual, animals, all physical. He does the unthinkable. He takes an animal, he raises the animal on its 2 feet, and he takes a piece of himself, the creator of the world, the infinite source, takes a source of infinite, and he puts it in you. God's infinite. The energy is infinite. That means your eyes are open today, not because your brain has some chemical reaction. Your eyes are open right now because what's powering you, according to Judaism, is what's powering you is a piece of the infinite. Chelek Elokah Mimah, piece of God from above. And there's a great rabbi named the Baal Tanya who wrote an incredible book called the Tanya. And in the book he writes Chelek Elokah Mimah, and he adds a word that seems simple but is so major. He writes mamish. Mamish is literally. Because he's sitting there probably going, they're not going to believe it. It's impossible. A human being has a piece of God inside them? When you grow up in a modern world, in a Western world that has pieces of from Greece and from Rome, we learn about deities. And bring that Greek perspective with you. There's me, and there's my deity. It's not Zeus, it's not Aphrodite, it's Hashem. I am me, I have my life, and what I need and what I want, and he is him. And here's the deal that we make with Hashem. You need things, I need things. I don't know, I need health, happiness, and some money. You need prayers and certain foods, like whatever, let's make a deal. This is called Amazon.God. that I want and make them feel like I care. Judaism. Zeus. Hashem. It's not us. It's not us. It's not us. 101, Judaism, not us. We don't believe that. It's not us. God is not up. There is no up. God is in. In. That means if your eyes are open, what's happening right now is a piece of Hashem. And I speak to Baruch Hashem people, these often do, a lot. And I get all this nonsense. You know me, I'm a bad Jew, I'm a good Jew, I'm a this type of Jew, I'm this denomination. I'm like, stop. Stop with the self-guilt. You have more spirituality inside you. If your eyes are open, if they're closed, have a good night, enjoy the sleep. If they're open, the reason why they're open, I'm telling you with 100% certainty, you have more spirituality inside you than you will ever need for the rest of your life. You never have to become spiritual. You have to reveal spiritual. The material world does a number on blocking that. That's all it is. It's just schmutz. That's life. That's one. Wrap your heads, because I'm telling you, I'm still working on it. I've heard this in years. I can't get my head around it. He's here. He's there. My wife is a piece of Hashem. Those kitties are pieces of Hashem. I take a cup of coffee, I make a blessing, I'm revealing divine sparks. Me and you are walking, all of Hashem are walking around. That's why spirituality feels categorically different than physical. You do not have a spiritual moment and go, oh, that was like a great meal I had times two. Why? Because it comes from your true essence. And we can get it when we're 10 or when we're 120. At any point in your life, this is just the way it is. You're built to tap here, and the world doesn't agree. That's why when the kids are little, they're unstoppable. What is the most unstoppable force in humanity today? What is the most unstoppable force in humanity today? 3-year-olds, am I right? That's a 3-year-old. Could anyone, if we had 100 3-year-olds, I'd be dead right now. Am I wrong? Have you ever given a 3-year-old a cookie before? What happens? He goes, I have another hand, you go one per customer. He goes, I'll stay here for the rest of my life. What do? Right away, one. Am I wrong? For us, sleep is our best friend. You wake up in the morning an hour before you have to. You're like, I get to sleep an extra hour? For a greater gift, God's going to give you the 1 more hour of sleep. Sleep is their enemy. That 3-year-old wakes up at 3 o'clock in the morning by mistake. He doesn't go back to bed. Mommy's up. But it's only 3. I don't care. I'm up. We're up. We have a world to destroy. Am I wrong? Have you ever seen mommy and 3-year-old go to the supermarket? And goes, this is the best. Mommy has got this. She takes a 3-year-old, puts him in a thing, and they're in the supermarket. And she is going up and down the aisles, and she's looking for flour, but she makes the wrong turn. She wasn't paying attention. Now she's on the cookie aisle. He's still out to lunch because he's in Wild Land. He's 3. All of a sudden he comes back too and goes, Mommy, I dreamed of this place. Let's get it all. And what does Mommy say? Son, you were a good boy in the car and I gave you a snack. If you're a good boy here, I'll give you a snack when we get back in the car. And the kid looks at Mommy and goes, for real? You want to do this thing? In public? You're on, girlfriend. Right. 2 seconds. She's taking off the thing. She turns to his brother. 18 seconds. I own her. I own her. 3-year-olds, something about them. By the way, everything you have in your life you got before you're 3. Eating, drinking, talking, walking, most of those. And then something happens. What happens? You ready? Watch this. We're almost done. We're beginning our initial descent. Stay with me 3 more minutes. What happens? I'll tell you what happens. That 3-year-old is a genius because grandma comes over and she figures out how to do division. They're like, oh my God, you're like Einstein. No, seriously, honey, it's Einstein. No, seriously, you should call somebody because there's nobody as brilliant as him. Then he gets to school and he gets 80% right and they go, call on your parents. Or it's 60%. They go, we have medication for you. I don't think so. But I was a genius. Or he hears mom and dad talking when he's in 1st grade going, what are we going to do? I don't know what to do. I don't know. That little girl that came down and she was wearing that little dress and daddy lost it. My little girl, my princess. You put her through 2 or 3 years of, that's what you're wearing? But it's summer already. Why are you wearing winter clothes? Wasn't that last year's style? Let me tell you something. Let me tell you what's going on. See, this is called screen. If you look like people on the screen, we give you special credit in school called you're pretty. If you don't look like them, you don't really care. I'm Daddy's princess. Not here now. That kid who had an arm where Dad's playing catch in the back, and he's like, honey, that's great, awesome, great rounder. He's sitting on the schoolyard. Okay, fine, Billy. Or worse, he gets picked first. That's his identity now. But then when he doesn't miss the shot, he loses himself because he's the athlete. Or worse, he's a bad student, so he does, he makes the jokes in class. Let me tell you how it works. You come to this world and you sense I have something. And then you get into the world and go, relax. Wherever you are, someone is more. We know what's true. You fit into our systems. Not knocking it, it's just reality. Compete. Here's what happens. You ready? That little 2-year-old doesn't even know his brain's not developed yet. He looks into this mirror when he's little and goes, or the 1-year-old even better. And she goes, I fell. And she goes, I can get up again. But someone's new that came to my house. I don't know what it's like. I never said hello to them. I can play with them. But I lost my toy. I can move on. And that kid's they look back. They see themselves. You know what happens? You start going through life. And that vision of what you see starts going from, oh yeah, I'm a soul. I can do anything to, I can't do that. No, I can't do that. I definitely can't do that. I'm not an organized person. I'm not that smart at that. I'm really not pretty. I'm really not very active. I'm really not the one. But Mom, you don't know me. You don't know me. Trust me. I know everything. So I can't. I can't. You get through it out of school some, not everybody. And you look at the mirror, you know what you see? You see a fraction of yourselves. You can carry that your whole life. You can give that gift to your children. No, you can't. I can't learn Torah. I didn't get it when I was a kid. Too late. I don't know how to read. I can't. You know what you're looking at? A fraction of the soul that God gave you. God said, you out of your mind. Do you know who you are? You know who your grandfather was? Abraham. I don't care what happened along the way. Your grandfather is Abraham, Sarah, Isaac. These are massive people. They're your DNA. You're a piece of me. You are walking the wall. You can't. I'm sorry, it's not like you said you can't. But when you're infinite, how do you know? I know. How? You know how you know? Because I stopped looking at things that I can't do as the beginning of what I'm going to learn. And now I use the word I can't as the proof that I can't go forward. You see, great people that are spiritual see the red light as the beginning. And the rest of us see the red light as the end. That's just what happens when I look in the mirror. You want to know the greatest gift you can give somebody? You can see them. Because in your marriage, someone isn't being seen. And your children, some families don't see every kid. Because the kid that doesn't fit doesn't necessarily get seen unless he starts to fit. And some kids are sitting in classrooms right now and nobody sees them. We're just trying to control them and keep them quiet. We're living in a world where a lot of us don't feel that anyone has ever seen us. And then we look at the world and we don't see people. You know what the fake Warren Buffett gave to our CEO friend? Not $1, not a bit of advice, and not a comment. You know what he did? He saw it. You don't have a CEO problem. You're a great CEO. It's called running a company. You have liquidity crises. That's what happens when you buy a house for the first time. You're stuck on cash for a few months. Welcome to life. And for the first time, that kid who grew up in the shadow of his grandfather and father, who hit one road bump because of the market, looked in the mirror and said, oh, I can't. No, I can't. He can work 20 hours a day, but he's working 20 hours a day out of, oh, no, I can't. Oh, no. flawed. And one guy who he thought he respected looked at him and said, "Oh, no, my friend. You have no idea who you are. Yes, you can." And that's all he needed. Here's the secret. That's all most people need. We pay for stuff we don't need to. We're compensating for seeing people. There are people in our lives that we think our credit card is compensating for the time I need to spend in seeing you. Because it takes time to see you. For you. Mishlei, I believe Shlomo Melech says, Tov ayin, a good eye, hu yivarech. You want to know a man who's blessed? You want to know a woman who's a blessed woman? Don't look at her bank account, don't look at what she's wearing. You want to know a blessed woman and a blessed man? I'm going to tell you what to look for. You ready? Blessed people have good eyes. They have good, they walk into a room, they talk to you, they're not past you after 2 seconds. They're looking at you and they're going, I see something in you. The reason why the rabbi and the rebbitzin are who they are is because they have eyes to see you. That's why they're here. Because their eyes see you. They see what Torah does to a Jewish soul in a world of darkness, and they say, I want you to taste this. The greatest gift we can give to each other is start seeing each other. The world wants us to look at a screen so we can buy their stuff. And our family and friends want us to look at their eyes so they can become the best they can be. That's life. That's the fight. That's the fight. Ayin Tov. Eliezer, I believe, says in the Mishnah, the number one quality of a person is Ayin Tov. I walk into a house that's not mine, they have more than me, I walk into that kitchen, it's her kitchen. I'm happy for you. This guy sold this company, I wanted to sell a company, I don't make as much as him. I'm happy for you. My eyes are filled with infinite. God doesn't have a pizza box. He's infinite. You winning isn't you losing. And I know your soul. So I don't care what you think of yourself. I don't care. You're a Jew, you're a soul. Your Torah is your destiny. I see it in you. I don't care what excuse you give me. I'm watching you. You got this. That's what a nation does for each other. That's what family does for each other. And right now, as I'm talking to you, think of the person that has inspired you most in your life when you were young. I bet you, if you look at the people in your life when you were young, the people, they're not the most charismatic. No, they are. The few people that saw you, that second grade teacher, the grandma, the Bobby that you saw to was, honey, it's okay. You're a good kid. Look, think of your life when you were little. You will find the people that matter the most to you didn't say the stuff that you put onto postcards. They just saw you. Why are we in this period of time? And then I'll give you a few more minutes. This period of time has a very specific function. What did the Jews do? They came out of Egypt, awesome. They walked out of the sea, awesome. They have to get to the Torah. What's missing? One thing is missing. Because what did the Jews do after they left the sea? Nothing. What do you mean nothing? The answer is nothing. So what happened? What happened was they woke up the next morning and there was no food left. Because how much could mommy drag with her out of Egypt? I mean, mothers can do. Jewish mothers are very good at carrying as much food as they could possibly carry. But even Jewish moms can't carry everything. And you know what happened? The food ran out. So you know what happened during that period of time? Moses showed up and said, everybody, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. God is going to give you food. Great. Is it the week going to grow? No. Is there going to be a depot? No. What's going to happen? Well, every day, God's going to give each person a piece of manna. What do you mean a piece of manna? God's going to give each person a piece of manna. The guy comes home that night, 10 cents to his wife, and goes, don't worry, honey. She goes, the kids are starving. He goes, don't worry. Moses just said, every day, God's giving everybody a piece of manna. She looks at her husband and goes, oh, what are you talking about? Like, I love you. I really haven't been married. Like, we're not Moses. Like, you think God knows who we are? Like, we're regular. We were worshiping idols like 2 years ago. Like, what are you talking about? There's Miriam and Aaron and Moses and Nachshon and, like, they're big people. Okay, God knows his family. Like, God knows, like, how many kids we have. And I bet you the husband said to her, I don't know. And I bet you the next morning with nobody, no food in the house, and you know there's nothing worse than the kids being hungry, walking out of that tent to his spot, looking down at the manna of his family, and pumping into the house with his 4 kids, putting on the table going, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, what? 6? And the wife going, hey, God knows our names. Next day, you can't say that's the deal with manna. Everything has to be eaten that night. The next day, it's just the worm to say. The next morning, he goes out, and he's walking the thing, 6 again. And then she goes, well, your mother's coming for Shabbos. You think you put me, now he knows your mother's coming for Shabbos? Huh? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You know what happened in that period of time? One thing. Regular Jews. Me and you. People that get up in the morning, go to work, struggle. Gaps of faith, gaps of knowledge. I don't even know what this means. I'm struggling and trying, I don't know. That group. Not the class that sits in the front of the shul. The class that sits in the back, or maybe doesn't come, or tries to come. That class of Jews started off with, God knows their names. I'm happy to be part of it. And for the next 50 days, whatever's left, no, God doesn't know my name. You think God knows my name? God sees me. God picked me. Wait, God gave me a piece of manna out of his hands for me. You know what the Jews learned during this period of time? That the creator of the universe sees them and wants each of them to be part of his nation. If you walk into Shavuot and think you're extra, you missed it. If you walk into Shavuot and say, if I don't get this Torah, I'm letting the Jewish people down, welcome to Judaism. No man or woman left behind. Not how we roll. God delayed Passover to Shavuot for 50 days to teach me and you one lesson. I see you, and I need you. Don't think low of yourself. Stop saying I can't. Drop the insecurity. Not for me. I'm your dad. Or your mom. I'm a child. I brought you into my nation because I want. No, not the person behind you. I got it. I know how you think. No. Every day. Lo nasu ha-Torah el ochle haman. You know how you got the Torah? You had to eat Mann. What does that mean? You walk on a mountaintop and say, yeah, this is my family. I'm showing up to class. I gotta figure this out. Before I leave this world, I gotta figure this out. I don't care about that. I gotta figure this out. I got this thing inside me. What does that mean? I got a candle. I want to turn into a blowtorch. I want to turn into a bonfire. That's how you accept the Torah on Shavuot. Which is coming up in like 10 days. The rabbi in Israel told Rabbi Moshe Levi, he's a big, huge son. He says, one of the things he says is, the annual wisdom that you get an allotment. You get Jewish wisdom. Torah takes place on Shavuot. An allotment, which means we get the year. We can always get more, whatever, which you get. And how you get it, one part of how much you want it. We got 10 days left. Drop the insecurity. We don't have time for insecurity anymore. They're coming to kill us. Enough. Enough. If your eyes are open, you have more spirituality than the world can handle. We and you have to strengthen ourselves and realize that the creator of humanity put us in this generation because he believes in us. Us. Me. You. Not the person behind you. And when we feel that Hashem is looking at us, we're going to start looking at each other. When we realize that the people around us need our eyes, our good eyes, we're going to build strong people. And when we realize that my soul is connected to that Torah, it doesn't matter if I had it, didn't have it comfortable. That Torah is how I learn about my essence. I'm going to break down this door and get them working 24 hours a day until you need 10 of them in this neighborhood. Because someone's got to light up the world. And this is our place to light up. That's accepting the Torah. That's Shavuot. That's what's coming up. And if we take these next few days and we walk in, marching in head up high into Shavuot, asking Hashem for more wisdom, seeing him see us, returning that favor to the world, we're becoming his people. We're literally stepping in to the generation, so to speak, that did it the first time. And my blessing to this incredible crowd, and to myself included, is that we should never think less of ourselves than we are. Because the more we realize who we are, the more we can pay that favor to other people. When somebody becomes who they're supposed to be, and someone says, who believed in you? We should be on their lips. Our hearts should be good, and we should believe in Hashem, believe in us, and together we should find that piece of our soul that's on fire for Torah. Light up our lives, light up the world. See a day where Hashem looks down. Small little town in Chicago, small little town in America, who cares? Sees the world and says, wow, what is happening here? This place is on fire. Light up the world around us. Thank you for listening.